grounds that it may incriminate me.
Sounds like I came in at the right time.
What's in that cup?
Oh, what's on the cup?
Sorry, guys, I'm getting a roll call here, and oh, geez, it's one. I never allow myself enough time. So Stephen's here. I do believe Abby. Oh, Abby is there. Okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think we might have 100% participation today. Yeah, definitely.
See you guys Tuesday.
Yeah. It's
Not
actually
so fast.
it's
Stephen.
actually Monday, so just so you guys know.
Oh,
Oh,
see you
good,
guys Tuesday.
There's one tomorrow.
Oh, so HTC is on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Holly and Kathy both there. Okay. So NCTV, are we live?
Mr. Chair, we are live.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Welcome to the HTC. Good afternoon. This is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Historic District Commission. First order of business is to confirm that all the members are present, which apparently they are. Members, when I call your names, if you could respond in the affirmative, that would be great. Thank you. John McLaughlin.
Aye.
Thank you. Diane Coombs.
Aye.
Good. Val Oliver.
Aye.
Great. Abby Camp.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby. And Stephen Welch.
Aye.
Harry Thornwell.
Hi.
All right, and I'm here, so that's everybody. Staff, when I call your names, if you could also respond in the affirmative. Kathy Flynn.
Present.
Holly Backus.
Present.
Very good. This open meeting of the Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. That order, posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, and we are being broadcast via YouTube on the town's YouTube channel. With no member of the public having asked to speak, this particular meeting will not feature public comment. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during this meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on our town's website. During the meeting, I'll introduce agenda topics and speakers, so please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called. And please direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and make the taking of minutes easier. Finally, votes taken at today's meeting will be done via roll call. Thank you very much. And Kathy, assuming that the agenda that we have posted is good to go, I would like to have a motion to approve today's agenda first off. Kathy, are we good?
We are good.
All right, so
I make that motion.
very good. Thank you, Diane. On the motion, John.
Aye.
Thank you, Val.
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. That motion carries. So we have an approved agenda now. First thing up is one consent item. Would somebody care to make a motion on that one?
Make a motion to approve.
Very good. All right. So on that motion, John.
Aye.
That was John, right?
No.
Oh, Val,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
John.
Aye.
There we go. And I'm in favor. So that consent item, good. And now we have two consent with conditions. Can I have a motion on that?
Make a motion to approve.
Very good. Okay, on that motion, John.
Aye.
Very good. Val,
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane.
Aye.
I'm in favor. All right, consent with conditions out of the way. We're rolling. Okay, two old business items. I think we're all very familiar with what they are. The board on these two applications are myself, Diane, Abby, Val, and Carrie. we're looking for some additional information. And Brooke, are you on board?
I am.
Okay,
Screen
fantastic.
share, please.
Let's go, screen share.
All right, there was a request for a letter from the engineer. We are base flood elevation 9. This would place the lowest floor of the structure also at elevation 10.1. I'm just going to scroll through the photos quickly. I know you've seen these 50,000 times, but
That letter you presented last time, and that resulted in this building being, I think, 10 inches lower than what you had originally shown, right?
correct. So the next series of photos are all second floor decks facing the water
Mm,
in the immediate surroundings.
mm.
Here you see them all. Some are big, some are small. Some are shingled. Some are open.
Mhm.
I'm sure everybody recognizes all these. So moving forward, there was the primary concern was the street side elevation. It needed symmetry, and that's what I did. I also moved the porch posts around to kind of discipline the elevation, and enclose the upper deck with shingles. And I also removed this little gable window because I think that helps make the building feel a little lower. You can see 27.2, which is the 10 inches lower. And here is the relative size.
Yes.
And then here are the other elevations, but they were relatively unchanged. It was primarily the focus on the front elevation. So have at it.
Okay, let's see. Holly, do we have HSAB on this one?
HSAB did not look at these revisions since.
Oh, that's right, because we reviewed this on Tuesday.
But the
Right.
overall concern was the elevation that's facing Washington Street.
Correct. Okay, thanks. All right, let me get back to, who would like to begin?
I will.
Okay, thank you, Val.
I think looks good.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah, I mean, that was the only side we really had concerns with. I think he's done what we asked, and it does look like a front of a house now.
Okay, thanks. Who's next?
I agree with Val. Looks great.
That was Abby. Thank you, Abby. Diane, you ready?
Yep, on the east elevation, the
Yep.
in the middle, sort of. Is that the front door or the one on the far right?
This is the front door. It's 6 lights up, and this is a large panel.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll zoom that in so you can see that a little better.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
See the drawing. That's wonderful. Okay. No, I couldn't see it from a distance.
Yep.
And so I think under the circumstances, having looked up and down Washington Street, previous to this and the last week, there are some second floor decks facing the water. I understand this. It's just I had a problem at the beginning because the front door was to the west. And so I am okay with this, with the understanding that it is following the examples nearby.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I just was able to get on finally.
No.
Okay, I did submit pictures of all the rest of them.
Yes, we already saw those. Thank you. But hang on.
Okay.
All right. So Carrie, you're last, or you're penultimate anyway.
I think all these changes were exactly what we were looking for, and I'm fine with this now.
Okay. So I agree. It sounds like we have liftoff. So officially, we have two applications. One is simply the move itself, and the one, the one that's first on the agenda, and probably the one that we should vote on first, is the alterations. Excuse me. Can somebody give me a motion?
Motion to approve the alterations and the move.
Oh, okay. So we'll do both applications at one time. I think that makes sense. Thank you, Val. Okay, so on Val's motion, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Very good. Diane.
Aye, on both.
And Val on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. So the motion carries on both of those applications. Thank you, Brooke, for working with us.
Thank you guys for making
And
the
I'm glad we're
arrangements.
saving a
Appreciate it.
house. I'm very happy that we came to an agreement. Okay, now we're on to new business. First thing up is 9 Quays Pasture Main House. We have Steve Rothke and Linda Williams doing a tag team for us on this. It's the regular board, unless anybody has a conflict.
All righty, ready to roll?
No.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Hi.
I think you all have seen this a couple of months ago, maybe, but we're back for the cupola and we're back for the attachment, the connector. And we've done a lot of research since then. I have a lot of pictures to show you from Quays Pasture all the way down to the circle and then back up the road.
Okay.
And the cupola is back, not visible except from one specific location at the very end of Quays Pasture. There should be a picture in here that shows all of that stuff. If you want to go down to the flights, make it quicker. If you go down the road, all the way, that's it, right there. We're willing to plant back there. I guess some plants have disappeared over time, but that's it. And it looks like a barn that was just attached to a house. If you go up the street with the other pictures, which are below this, it disappears completely because of the grade change, the fact that the cupola is lower than the main body of the house. And I'm going up the street and there are clearly no leaves yet. And you keep going up the street and you can't see it at all because the other two structures block it. So that's the cupola. Here's the existing driveway.
Mm-hmm.
That driveway is going to be closed off as far as the connector is concerned. Everything's still natural to weather, Terratone or bronze windows, and you can't see it. So the driveway on the left is moving all the way over to the right, and then everything's going to be planted right in front of it. The house across the street is wide open. They got a pool. They just did a lot of landscaping, but they have no ground cover at all. We don't want to see them and they don't want to see us. So this is looking down the road. The driveway is going to be off to the left. And this is the grade change from the road going back towards the connector. So the connector disappears pretty much between the two structures. I did run into a bunch of connectors going out Eel Point Road and down that road that goes over to Fisher's Landing. But this is from the backyard, so you can see where the cupola is going to go back there. Because I took them from the interior of the lot, just so you can see where everything's happening. And this is where the porch is coming around. That small window on the left is going to come around, and then there on the bottom one, that's the cottage. So the porch is going to go right. And that's the house on the upper one. That's going to go left, and they're going to connect in that small space. We'd like to do sanding seam, dark bronze to match the windows on the porches and the top of the cupola. I'll leave that up to you. I don't want to live or die by that, but they'd like to do the dark bronze, which is becoming quite prevalent on Nantucket, as I know. The one below is the large cupola, perfectly visible from the end of Quays Pasture. That's on the house at the very end. That's the other house at the very end. I don't know what to call that except a party platform. And this is the house across the street. So I've given you some neighborhood context. It is rural. The road does dead end at the end of this property. It's conservation, so it is not within our jurisdiction as land bank property, but you can see this shows you where the driveway is being relocated. Right now, it's pretty much where you see that next to that easement area there. the two dotted lines. But it's moving way over here, and then we're planting the death out of that road so nobody sees us. But the grade does change significantly from front to back. So that's pretty much it. I know you've seen this connector before and you approved it without prejudice, so we can come back when this was all getting underway more and we had more information. So if anybody has any more issues, let me know, but it pretty much disappears, where some of these connectors I've seen out in Neil Point are like visible right from the road, but they're all natural to weather or dark roofs, wood roofs. So if anybody has any questions, let me know, but we're showing you.
We actually have three things on the table.
Yep.
The cupola,
Mhm.
connector, and the
Yep.
fact that you would like the roofs on those things to be standing seam bronze as opposed to red
Wood.
cedar shingle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are it, but I claim that the visibility is slim to none. Certainly you can't see the connector from going up and down Quay's pasture. You got to be directly in front of it. And and as I said, the driveway is moving completely east.
Linda, is the standing seam only on the connector,
On the porch roofs, what you can see of the porch roofs here.
but not the second floors?
Oh, no, that's wood. Everything else is wood except for
And the
porch roof
cupola.
and the cupola top.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Linda. Stephen, you have anything to add to that?
No, just to clarify on that standing seam, that was accurate, that it's basically all first floor porch roofs plus the cupola.
Okay, that's what you're.
And if you want to cruise back to the site plan, you can kind of see the bird's eye view if that's helpful. But basically that is the correct. That's the area that we're doing. It's all those first floor porch elements plus the cupola.
Okay.
And they're fairly flat pitch, so it even mitigates the visibility, and you can't see the porches at all once the driveway is moved completely.
Okay, thanks. Can we start in with the board now? I think we can. Who would like to begin?
I'm okay with it. I'm Abby.
Okay, Abby. Thank you. Who's next? Diane?
My only thought was just to reiterate what you said is every porch roof on the first floor is going to be the seamed roof, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Plus the connector is definitely, and that is it. So, and we approved the cupola already, right?
No, that was taken off before and it's back now because we just didn't want to hold up the rest of the project for those two items until we got more information.
Okay, the only thing I can say about the cupola is I think it's large. I don't mind the cupola. I don't think you have to hide the cupola, because if this looks like it's on an old barn and the roofs that you're going to have on the porches, it fits in. I just have a question whether it is a little high or the roof is, the gable roof is a little high, 10, 12, maybe it could be less. I don't know. It seems to me that it shouldn't be larger than perhaps the windows that are there on the second floor. But that's just one opinion.
Okay.
And it's sort of deceiving, Diane, to look at it on the west because that's a flat thing. If you go back to the picture, you can see just how way back it is and how not visible it is.
Maybe just, Holly, if
Yeah,
you
there
could
you go.
drive to the north elevation, that might be helpful also. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the elevation right here.
Doesn't
Yeah.
show on the north,
That's the north. Yeah,
on the plan.
Sure. Yep.
yeah.
Doesn't show,
It's definitely in the north elevation.
but it doesn't show.
That's because you're on the cottage set of drawings right now.
No,
Main house set-
there's another north elevation.
Yeah, that's the other place.
There we go.
Here, that's south. Keep going. There we go.
Yeah.
And that's the visibility you see from that opening in the foliage there. So it's
Right.
not
It's,
quite-
I have no problem seeing it. I think I still feel, just for me, that it should be a little smaller. and the roof not so high. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Diane. I think you were alluding to the idea of dropping the roof pitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. Val, you want to chime in?
I'm sorry.
I think it's a little bit big for the piece that it's sitting on, the cupola. I say no to the standing seam. Somebody told us on Pulpus Road they were going to put standing seam and we wouldn't see it, and it's wide open.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And I guess the connector's okay. It just is like a continuation of the porch.
Yeah.
But
So Val is no standing seam, smaller cupola, okay with connector.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Val. John?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. My comments on this, that the cupola, although there might be one next door or a mile away, I think they're inappropriate on a home style looking house, not a business. Could we go to the west elevation, please?
There you are. Yep, that's west right there. Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, okay. All right, I'm looking at the west elevation. It says revised to be covered porch connector, 16-inch. All right, what is, I believe that's a 4.5 or a 5-inch pitch on that roof. That gable, it's supposed to be a 7-inch pitch standard.
What?
That's one my comment there.
So, John, I just want to make sure that Linda understands what you're saying. So the yellow portion, Linda,
Yep.
has a gable on it, and John is calling attention to the fact that it's a 4 and 12 roof pitch as opposed to something taller.
That's porch roof, so I guess that's why it's 4.
What John is saying, I'm just
I got
clarifying. Okay, continue, John.
Ray, I got more to do.
No, yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
One of the things I feel is wrong, but the people that come in and apply for something, all they say is it can't be seen, it can't be seen. I've seen things get approved and go out afterwards, 2 weeks later and see where they've done it. And it's not, it is visible. And this time of year, mostly everything is visible because of the brush hasn't grown yet and flowers and stuff are blockage. And I find that the people shouldn't just come in here and say, it can't be seen, because if it can't be seen, I like to provide a visionary picture of it whenever they do something. And this is what aggravates me mostly, is that they're saying it can't be seen. I get tired of hearing that, and I think the chairman, when it happens, when they say that, okay, we'll view it. That's what we should be doing, because you see it afterwards and it's visible. Thank you.
Okay, John, thank you. So I do believe this is going to be visible at a great distance, but it does seem that you probably have support for the connector. I think that your range of opinions on the cupola is that it should go away to it's okay the way it is, but then there was a sort of in between that said fine, but make it smaller. So I think that I would encourage you to look at ways of making it smaller, either by changing the roof pitch or its size or both. And then the standing seam roof thing, yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's just going to come down to the vote on that one, whether it's going to get approved with standing seam or not. So I think what we need to do here, folks, in order to get this through, is to request some revisions.
Through staff, Mr. Chairman?
Revisions.
Oh, can we please do it through staff? We've waited a month to come back in here already.
No,
We'll do whatever you want us to do. We'll take the standing seam off.
no.
We'll make the cupola smaller.
Okay,
I
well,
I think we
I was
wanted-
just going to ring in and say that I'm not opposed downside. We could take a foot of width out of the cupola. I'm totally fine to reduce the pitch on the cupola to something less than what we see right there.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I'd like to state that the site plan that we submitted does show and call out a planted berm. And, we're perfectly happy for that to be part of the record for today's review and for the certificate when it happens.
And we'll take the standing seam off if there's not support for that. We're okay with the wood roof to match the rest.
All right. I understand. I do get the whole idea of having to wait months to come back. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So is there support for the idea of doing something through staff here? Like by taking up Stephen's suggestions to remove the standing seam roof and to make the cupola smaller by making it narrower and by dropping the pitch of the roof?
I could go with taking the metal roofs off. I think that is a good idea.
Okay.
The cupola, I think we should get an idea of how many people like or will go with the cupola, and if so, it should be made smaller.
So out of deference to those who are okay with the cupola but want it to be made smaller, because we do, so I'm okay with the cupola the size that it is, and I believe Abby was as well. I think to move this thing forward, if Stephen is willing to make the cupola a foot narrower and drop the roof pitch from what I believe is a 10 right now to something more like an 8 or a 7, which would drop, probably a foot out of the height. Would there be support for that?
I guess I would be able to go if you dropped it down and made it narrower. I would go with it.
Okay, so then either Diane or Abby, could you make a motion that said that is remove the standing seam metal roof from the application and make the cupola narrower by a foot and change the roof pitch on the cupola from a 10 and 12 to an 8 and 12?
Cool.
Does somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. All right. So Abby has made that motion. Hopefully everyone's clear on the motion. So I'm going to poll the board on Abby's motion. Val?
I'm a no.
Okay. Diane?
I'll go for a yes.
Okay. And John?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I mentioned that gable is under a 6-inch pitch. Is that in the motion?
No.
All the roofs are 4 by 12 along the first floor. All the little porch roofs are 4 by 12. It says so, and that's an existing one. So all he's doing is copying it on the right.
Yes.
Right. So did you get that, John?
No.
Okay, so they're copying the roof pitch that's already there on the left-hand side of that west elevation. But if you're not in favor of it for that, you can vote against the motion.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, every so often, we have a set policy we've used for years, and all of a sudden, one person comes along and we make revisions. It shouldn't be done. You still have a guideline.
I understand, but the other thing is, I don't believe that this is actually going to be visible.
You go ahead. It's yours, Ray. Thank you.
Well, no, but so John, I'm going to put you down as against the motion. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Okay. And so Abby, on your motion?
Aye.
All right. And so I'm in favor. So the motion carries 3 in favor, 2 opposed. Thank you, Stephen. And now it looks like we've got more fun and games with the cottage. But now is this standing seam metal? Is that what this application is all about?
Well, it was also part of the connector, so we put the house in going towards that and this going towards the house, so it's exactly the same motion, except without the cupola. No standing.
Yeah. All right, so does everybody understand that? This basically has to do with, we're going to remove the metal, it's going back to a wood roof, and this is just the connector, that's all,
Yes.
but without metal, with wood. Can somebody make that motion?
Yes.
make it,
Oh my
Alright.
God. This,
Okay, I believe Abby made that motion. So on the motion, Val?
I'm unclear. What was the motion? I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. The motion is, this is the guest house portion of the connector.
Yeah.
And like the main house, we're not approving this for metal roof. We're approving it as red cedar as originally approved.
Okay.
That's what the motion is. So
Okay.
where are you?
I'm okay with it. It's the connector, right? Yep.
Correct. That's it. Okay. So Val's in favor of, Diane.
I am.
Okay. All right. And John.
I,
All right. And so, Abby on your motion,
I,
and I'm in favor. So that one actually went through 5 in favor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now, let's see, we're now going to direct our attention to 41B Cliff Road.
Okie dokie. We met with, or I met with HSAB, and they had a lot of comments. And we actually switched out the plans and resubmitted the plans with their comments. We had gone back to an earlier time, sort of, on a front porch, which we then took back off. So the front looks like the old picture, and that's the only picture there is. So it, I was able to corner below this one, Holly, if you want to scroll down, corner on the left, that house on the right disappeared, and there's the Seacliff Inn on the right. There's a whole bunch of little houses up in here, like these guys right here. This is our lot. We have the narrowest and the smallest lot. This is Jimmy Barker's. Diane, remember, we used to walk past it when we were kids, and when there was a glass porch on the front of it, and we were going to go back to that, but we took it off because HSAB didn't like it. They wanted it to remain the way it was. But we used to go by the glass porch and make the 20 little King Charles Spaniels bark every time we went into town and back. Jimmy Barker hated us. But here's the house now. A previous edition was approved in the back. You can see it with the doghouse dormers.
Mhm.
We had added on another piece that was, they wanted us to step it back, which we did again. So we stepped back when we resubmitted the plan. And we changed, they didn't like the doghouse dormers on it, so we did some shed dormers, so it looked a little bit more like it was tagged on. The old areas, which are in here somewhere, it was in the Sanborn maps. It was an odd duck. It had a front portion, and then it had a one-story addition and a one-story addition. Those took a long time and made into two-story additions. And it was very odd. And then there's a whole nother big structure. Back up there for a second, back up. There's a whole nother big structure behind it. But this back piece was one story. And as you move through the Sanborn maps, the back piece came off. 2 pieces were added, and it was two-story, and that other building disappeared over time. So I followed it all the way up to 1949. So keep going. There. That other building left, they stuck on another little one-story piece. And then when you got further down, it became a 2-story piece and part of it left. So when they added the first edition some years ago, it had already been monkeyed with in the back. So this is the previous one. This is the 2001 demolition of that rear L, and that's where the 2-story piece came in. So this is what was approved. Lovely. As we go down, there's the old Porsche. This is a
Okay.
previous, this was the as at the time.
Linda,
Yep,
this was what was approved when?
2001. So they took all
2001.
that second, that was the original. That was what it looked like after they changed it for 1949. So this was the approval. This is the new one, but we wanted it, it was already taken off, Ray. I didn't put in the new because that's what's there now. But that was 2001, what the existing was, that whole long 2-story piece. So that was taken off in 2001. And then what you see today, that addition was put on, a 2-story addition with doghouse dormers. So we pulled out what HSAB didn't like. They had some good comments. We pulled it out, redid the plans and submitted them now. So now if we keep going, you can see it, the drawing up there. They didn't have any problem with the pool house. They didn't have any problem with the pool. It was just some of the architectural features of the original submission. Keep going. Was the previous one.
When you say previous, you
I
mean,
know, I'm confused by that.
Originally,
too.
what we put in 2 months ago.
okay, so this, Val, previous.
This is what we
means
put
prior
in
to it
2
going
months ago.
It went, so they submitted this, it went to HSAB, and now
To
they
HSAB,
made revisions
yeah.
based on HSAB. So that's what prior means.
Yeah, HSAB hated it. Yeah,
Hated.
so we changed it. This is what we originally put in to sort of go back to the glass porch, and that was not going to happen. So we took them out and put new plans in, which are eventually coming up here.
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
Yeah.
Kathy, sorry, Mr. Chair. This is what I've got. I've got these PDFs.
Right, well, Kathy, everybody was sent them. I believe Kathy's.
Is this it? Okay, this looks like it's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
All right, so we took all that off the front and made it back to what it was. And then when we did the addition, we stepped it back like they asked us to. And we actually took off the doghouse dormers that were approved in 2001 because it's just overpowering. And then we went to shed dormer. Middle section, we took off the existing shed dorm, the doghouse dormers, put sheds, banged the back piece off, moved it back and put it into a shed like they asked. They said it was okay to put a window here because it was a blank wall. And then we just sort of remastered the windows on that addition from 2001. And then if you keep going down to the next one. Can somebody go to the one below this one?
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt, but could you let me back in? I got bounced out of the meeting. Could you let me back in? Kathy, sorry.
You're in.
Hey, Abby, you're in.
All right, okay, this is the west elevation, which is hard against that big house next to it.
Mhm. Yep.
And hard up against a massive hedge. So there's the houses that are all beyond the front piece, but there's that reflects what we changed on that side because you can't see just to the side. And then the HSAB had a question about how visible this addition was going to be from North Beach Street. You might as well go to those aerials. We can dispense with that right off the bat. Not the aerials, but I drove up and down North Beach Street and took it from all North Beach Street. This looks like a garage. It's so on Cliff Road, and every other house is on, so it's impossible to see anything.
Here's some photos.
But the top gable, no matter what, it still looks like outside. I do have aerials that were
Linda, if you can
a
hear me.
while ago. I don't know where I don't know where they are.
Terrible. You keep going in and out.
Yep. I know. I have to move.
Mr. Chair, I don't see the aerials unless Kathy can find
No,
them.
From where I am.
It's not aerials. She was mistaken.
No, they're pictures from you know, wherever the hell that is. North Beach Street.
Or North Beach Street, right?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Well, yeah, we can hear you right now.
Are you able to hear me now? Okay,
Yes.
I'm not moving again.
Okay.
I sent them in several weeks ago. I don't know what happened to them, but I took pictures. Anybody who's driven up and down North Beach Street knows that those houses are right on the bluff.
Mr. Chair, if you stand by, I can send these to Holly.
It helps if they're all in one PDF.
Agreed.
It
Agreed.
does, but it's
We've asked about that to everybody.
a big packet. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They come in sections. It's frustrating. Here you go, Holly. Try this.
Well, we submitted them, Val, after HSAB made their comments.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
if Linda's okay, may I read HSAB's comments even though they're based on the original?
push this along. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, based on the information, this is a Greek revival circa 1846 on the NHL. The HTAB took a look at this on April 5th. On the additions, their concerns were this was built around 1840s. Changes to the front are completely inappropriate. Okay. Rear addition is too similar in scale to existing and exacerbates the already overly long rear additions. Negative mass facing bluff is inappropriate. This is visible from North Beach Street and will be more so after grade changes. I'll pull up these photos. The new dormers should not replicate badly designed existing dormers. So glad to see that changed. Recommendations: front section should remain as is. Rear addition needs to appear as much more diminutive additive mass. Step back from the east side and drop the plate and ridge significantly. No negative massing facing north, and lower the plate height of new dormers.
Alana, we fixed almost every single thing they asked for, but there you go.
Mhm.
Where we are, right, hold on,
Yeah.
is that's a close, go back to the actual regular eyeball, and you can barely see the top of it right in between these two structures. And we are like, we do look like somebody else's garage from North Beach Street.
Right.
Even
Okay.
after the addition is put on, it is still going to have no bluff and North Beach Street. And the addition that we're putting
We're losing you again, Linda.
on is about the same length as the original addition, original house on Northampton. This is north and south. This is both sides of some of these. I was able to get Cliff Road sides versus the North Beach Street side.
Right. Okay. These are all the neighbors.
Nice big houses. Yeah, all up and down that section of Cliff Road,
Okay.
which I grew up on. But some of that's the neighbor. The
Okay.
I think we,
Nantucket is the other neighbor. And,
All right, Linda.
and as I say, they didn't have any questions about the big house in the pool, the cabana in the pool.
All right. Well, so
I'll go.
yes, thank you, Diane. Go ahead. Thanks.
Okay, on this proposed east elevation, what is the length of the house from including everything? What is that length?
Linda.
Jerai's gonna have to answer that one.
Well,
Yeah, hi,
Not noted on the plan.
no, I don't see it
It's on
anywhere.
the application.
isn't, I'll have to check the floor plan.
Well, hurry
I
up
don't
and do
remember
that.
exactly. I'll let you know.
Hurry up.
When you look at this from coming up the street and hitting the east side of this building, which catches your eye because first of all, it's an old building of some historic value, is that you see, you're not going to see the little doodad up and down of the roof. The last piece that you're trying to put on should be considerably lower. If necessary, make it 1 story. It shouldn't be 2-story and 6 inches lower than the roof next to it, because the connector and the other thing, they're all too close in height that you get the impression that it's one long building. And that is not what you want. It's not what I want, at least. I don't care what the neighbors have. I think it's too long, too high, and you have every window practically on up in the different shed dormers and the doghouse dormer, which you won't change, are mulled. You've got an overwhelming amount of windows up on the 2nd floor that compared to what you got on the 1st floor. You're not going to see the 1st floor. You're going to see the 2nd floor. It'd be interesting history as how that lot ever got approved. I thought it was 2. I thought it was 41 and 41B. At least when we started on this house, we're together. So I appreciate the existing south elevation as continuing with what it was. And I would like to see what the west is compared to the east.
Well, there's your west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see again, everything, or almost everything, and it's not my particular favorite thing, everything on the second floor is mold.
On the right, Diane, lower right.
I still believe that addition on the west has got to be reduced, not just it's got to come down, whether you get rid of the second floor or just take those windows out, but it has to come back, in my opinion, at least 2 feet, at least, to bring it down so that it's a definite separation from the other part of the roofs. Okay, I think that's it for the moment.
Okay, thank you, Diane. How about you, Val?
I actually don't think that we're gonna ever see the full length of this.
That's right.
It is kind of what it is, but I wouldn't mind seeing some reduction in windows on the second floor to support Diane on that. But I think all in all, it's pretty tame.
I like that word.
Abby?
I agree with Diane on this one. I think if you're going to add on to a historic building, it should go down to like at least it's sort of a cathedral ceiling and not just keep pumping up as you go back. I really like that. The first picture you showed us, the only picture you had at the front of the house, I thought that was so great with those long windows onto the porch. I thought it really was stunning. Right now it's sort of a very sort of bland looking. It doesn't have the charm of that old picture. I don't know what you're doing to the front of the house. I don't see that elevation. Are you doing anything to the front of the house?
No, right?
No.
So, Abby?
So touch it.
Linda, you're coming in and out, so I'm just going to do this for you. Abby, if you look at the existing south elevation on the top left, and then you look down below that, you see the proposed south. And as far as I can tell, there's nothing happening to the front.
Yeah, it's all the same colors and it's all white. Shutters are white.
No, H7 is against it.
Those days.
I can't understand. Anyway, talking about the back of the house, I would like to see a telescope down instead of going up. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. John?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, go to the north elevation, please. Okay, I can read it now. Thank you. I think everything that's requested here, other than the original house, which Maxie Ryder used to own, it's all additions going up because it's a narrow lot. And I think that the north elevation is only visible on the second floor, partway up the second floor from like the photo showed. So I find the rest of the structure is compatible to itself as well as other houses in the area. And if there's no objection, I'd make a motion to approve it.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting, because I don't have a tremendous amount of concern with this building either, but there's two members of the board that do have concerns. I'm kind of concerned that we're,
Are there 3 votes in favor of it, Mr. Chairman? I believe Val was running along with you and John for the most part.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. There were 3 people that are fundamentally in favor of it, but 2 that are, opposed.
I'll take a vote.
I know you would.
Yes, I would.
All right, so, gosh.
Can I just have one comment,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. very quickly? The dormers are on this elevation, which is east elevation. It's minimally visible, but those double dormers up above are existing with those double windows. We're not adding a window. We're taking off the doghouse dormers, which are not all that great looking in the first place. There is a picture from the east side.
Linda,
coming
you
up the
keep coming
grade
in and
change.
out. It's really distracting as hell.
I don't know how to make it any better, but
You're gonna have to figure it out because like it's,
there is a picture coming up the hill. Okay. I'll move for the next one if you want to take a vote on this one, because the rear elevation is not going to be visible because it's stepped back.
okay.
And that's the east elevation, right?
Now, I believe that John made a motion to approve this as submitted. Is that correct, John?
I made a motion. If there's no objection, yes, I think it should, it's approval. Everything in that building is in that area somewhere.
Okay, well, you're gonna get objection from at least two of the members on this one, but I'm gonna move with that motion. So John has made a motion to approve this as submitted. On that motion, Abby.
Well, I guess I'm a nay.
Okay, Val,
I'm a yay, yes.
you're a yay. Diane,
Nay.
okay, and John on your motion.
Aye.
Okay, and I'm going to be in favor because I agree with the fact that it's going to be minimally visible and certainly not visible from down below the bluff. So the motion does carry 3 in favor, 2 opposed. Now we have.
Do you have any comment about the pool or the cabana?
Hey, Linda, we can all save time because I'm always going to ask Holly what they said. So you don't need to recap that every time. We'll hear that from Holly. So do you have anything to say about the cabana, like by way of introducing us to it as opposed to what HSAB had to say about it? Let's take a look at it. Okay, there it is. Yep. Okay, fine, good. All right. That's it, right? Uh-oh, I believe we lost Linda.
I'm here. I just changed locations.
Okay, so that was the presentation. So now Holly, you want to jump in and tell us HSAB's
Yes,
comment?
Mr. Chair, HSAB had no concerns other than the fact that the cardinal points on the plans are incorrect and those need to be reflected.
We fixed that when we resubmitted.
Okay. Thank you.
So the ones we're looking at are correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the narrow end.
Actually, no, Mr. Chairman, we
What?
took the doors off the east. That was the only thing that was a concern for me. We took the doors off the east and resubmitted without the doors on the east, which were minimally visible. So we just left the doors on the pool side, on the west side.
Oh, okay, I'm confused because the drawings we're looking at have doors.
I don't think these are the right drawings.
Oh,
Either way, it's up to you guys. If you don't want doors on the east side, we'll take them off. And that's what
You already took them off. So if the drawings that we're looking at have them on the east side, we'll just motion to approve it with the doors not on the east side.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so thank you, Holly. Board members.
It's a small little building and with less doors for that see-through effect, it's better.
Okay. Thank you, Val. Diane?
yeah, that's what I would go with, whatever
There you
turns
go.
out about
Right
those
here.
doors.
Mr.
What?
Chairman, there's the right drawing right there.
Okay, so doors gone, window added. Yep.
Right.
Okay, so continue, Diane.
No, that's fine. as
Okay.
long as we do
All
that.
right.
What, are we approving the pool at this time or?
Well, that's the next application, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah, the pool and the hardscape is next. So this is just about the cabana. Abby?
Well, because I wasn't for the you know, the massing going back. This just adds to it. It just looks like a long line of buildings. So I can't find that too attractive. So I'm not in favor of it.
Okay, thank you. John?
Yes, can I see north elevation, please? Right there, it is, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, all right, I take it those are distribution windows there. If you do have a cookout.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, little folding windows, correct.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at that little stand in front of it. In its location, could I see the plot plan, please?
It's on the backside, John.
Right. Okay, I see where it is. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I think it's appropriate.
Okay. And I'm okay with this. So can I have a motion?
Yes,
And your motion is?
I'll make a motion to approve it
Okay,
as submitted.
all right, sounds good. On that motion, Diane?
Aye.
Thank you, Val.
Aye.
Abby?
Nay.
Okay, John?
Aye.
And I'm in favor, so the motion carries 4 in favor, 1 opposed.
Fantastic.
now-
The pool is the pool.
Yeah. Okay, so there's, Linda's made her statement. How about you, Holly?
Mr. Chair, no concerns from HSAB.
Okay, a pool or hardscape, and looks like there's a little terrace outside of the pool there.
Yep.
Is that the extent of the hardscape, the pool and the terrace?
There's a great little grade changing going on right now. There is a thing on top of the hill that's a patio.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so we're just going to sort of level this all out a little bit because the grade change is so steep. We're going to sort of move the grade around a little bit back there.
And retain it how?
What's
Obviously, you have to level it out for the pool because otherwise it'd be tilted.
Right.
We're going to be cutting and filling back in here to try to level some of this out.
So that would require some walls, I would think. Yeah, how do you retain on a hill and not?
Well, I think what they're talking about doing is just flattening it out.
Yeah, it's gonna get flatter rather than steeper.
You don't happen to have a section through here, do you?
Oh
yeah, somebody does because I see the little arrow thing.
Yeah, I believe Jirai has that in here somewhere.
That
Section, yes, but the long way, not across right through the pool.
Well, no, I see it
A
going.
long
a long
way would
which
be
is gonna
better.
be what Val is after. So where is it?
We have on the site plan, we show a retaining wall on the east side. where
Okay.
it will kind of
There is a
disappear halfway.
section, we just saw it, it disappeared, that showed, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, if you look down on the bottom here.
Okay, so the retainage,
So there is retaining.
there is retainage.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be because it's so steep.
Well,
On the inside though, Val, not on the outside.
What
do you mean?
Sure that I would concur with that because the left-hand side of this drawing is where Cliff Road is. And so it's sloping up. And what I'm looking at is like, as when you get closer to the pool and the cabana and it all flattens out, you have retainage on the south side of the cabana. That's up, in other words, between the cabana and the house. So that would be visible from Cliff Road, correct?
This one is Jirai, not me.
Yeah, there's that little part that goes up to the cabana will be visible, but yeah, it will be small, like a 1 foot retaining wall. And then there is also an arbor in between. You can see it like at the end of the house, main house. Yeah, right there.
The arbor isn't really relevant to what Val's concern is, which is has to retain it.
Yeah, there is a retaining wall, which, as I said, it kind of disappears halfway because the neighboring property is right now sloped towards it. So there is a great change already. We're trying to almost like eliminate the change and put a little retaining wall to just flatten the whole part.
But the point is, Jirai, is that the retaining wall is on the inside of the property because the property to our south is higher than we are.
Yeah, of course, it's on the inside of the property, yeah.
So it's not exposed to the outside to the east, it's on the inside of the property, which you can't see from the road.
Well, no, I would argue that the retaining wall that's on the south side where the arbor is, where you've specifically called out a stone retaining wall.
You can see the beginning of the retaining wall, right?
Only the front side of it. Because we're lower than the guy to the south. So the retaining wall is on the inside, not his side. You know what I'm saying? It's not exposed to the guy to the south.
Why don't we get a drawing that shows us what we're talking about?
I believe he's got it in here, but I didn't do that.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't express it doesn't show like the neighboring property.
Okay.
And they had
in other words,
what
Linda, it does not show the phenomenon that you're talking about, which I kind of conceptually understand but don't see, which
I
is
had pictures in
saying-
here of it somewhere. I had pictures of that side in here somewhere.
well, pictures or
So here's the guy's driveway. See the berm? He's got a berm that's higher than we are. If you keep going, there may be more. I have my own pictures, but that's, yeah, see, he's higher than we are and he's higher. The right guy is higher than we are. So we're just going to level this section in between the two out, but still retain the guy on the left. The guy on the right, we're just using, screening because that's his hedge. That's huge. And he doesn't want us to touch it. And here's this little platform thing on top of the hill. That's been there all along.
Yeah, and that's going to be the level of the pool.
Well, do you
Okay.
want to hold this one and we'll try to come back with something different? I have a picture looking at it from the inside.
Much sort of ambiguity here, and we could be at
Right.
it for a while.
Yeah, I
So,
can
Val,
show
you
you
want to make a
section.
motion to hold for more information?
I make
Yeah,
a motion.
and can I ask that they, where the wall, concrete wall, is it
Here it is.
visible or
Hold
not?
it, hold it, hold it. Go back to your left again. Here is the trees that we're planting, but the wall is just fading out underneath these things.
Yeah, that
So
that is
to be
very
exposed.
conceptual without even showing there's a wall.
I don't really
I
see.
got it.
So, Diane, you were about to say something. What do you
They
have?
they keep flashing by on this stuff, that one wall, the wall that comes down and then drops down, looks like a foot and goes on, is
Go
made out
left.
of concrete. I just would like to know if that's visible from the street. A concrete wall, is it
Mm.
It's gonna
colored
be
or
stone.
covered?
It says concrete.
It
I know,
says-
it's gonna be stone faced.
But we
Okay,
need these
hold.
poles on.
I'd like to hold for revisions and correct information about exactly what's going to happen.
Okay.
I'm going to just hold that, your motion, just for a second. Diane, have you said what you need to say, or do you have more
Yeah,
questions?
it's so we just need to get the information that we need
Yeah.
Okay.
so we can look at it.
All right. So we're all in agreement. We need some more information. Val has made a motion to hold this for more information regarding the retainage. On that motion, Diane,
Aye.
thank you. Abby,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Val.
Aye.
And I'm in favor of that motion. Carries. Thank you, everybody. And-
Exceptionally, Mr. Chairman, everybody's okay with a pool. We just got to nail it down. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly right.
That
We need
works.
to know what we're approving, basically.
Yep.
Okay, so it looks like you're at 41A Lowell Place now.
14.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
we back up there again.
14A, correct. Okay.
Okay.
So.
This
uh,
one is the cottage. And I believe I dropped a packet off to everybody so they could look at the stuff on this one.
I don't have one.
Yeah, I dropped it off. It was part of the other packet. All right, so here we go. Here's the house. If we go down and look at the aerial, down, there we go. Every house in there has had a change to it. I believe Joe was in here for the one up where the O is on Lowell Place. It's gonna be a year-round house now. We're making changes to it that are pretty, I wanted to make sure we maintained the bungalow style and not get too crazy like the other ones have. Here it is right now. minor changes have been made to it over time. Keep going. These are just the elevations of it at the moment. This one is next door. They've had multiple, you can see where I've labeled what has changed since the structure was built in the 1930s, early 40s. We're the last one to get built, by the way. So you can see what they used to look like. And this is the one that's before you now with Joe. Very little has been done to this one. This one has all kinds of additions and second floor put on it. You can see it here. The one next to us has had additions put on it, sensitively done. And this one's had changes made to it. This is Dick Hayton's old house. This has also had changes made to it since time immemorial. And here they are, just little squares. This is an old water map, a sewer map. And they're all pretty simple little squares here. And over time, because people's lives have changed, a lot of them have turned into year-round houses. Things have been added on to them, and second floor has been put on, dormers have been put on. So we wanted to stay pretty sensitive to the actual bungalow style because it's a bungalow.
Where is it? You
It's the very last one on the right, very last one.
No, but I mean, where's the elevation of it?
I guess it's coming. These are the maps, the aerial maps, the 38s and the 57s. And I gave you a rundown of everything that was found on the structure. And the Sanborn maps didn't go out that far back in the day. So I had to rely on aerials and old pictures from all over the place to actually tag it. So we're going to go to the elevations. Here we go. Where are we here? All right, we're going to add a one-story elevation addition towards Woodbury, because that's where the opening is of that side. We're keeping pretty much the first floor. We need more head height. There's like one bedroom in there. And we're adding dormers like everybody else on the street is added. The back, as you already know, painfully is not visible. So we're adding a porch and some windows. And if we go to the next elevation, we're going up a little bit. We want to keep the same pink block. I believe we've found a place in Chicago that reproduces that same foundation. Most of them have that same block on the foundation. So it's kind of unique to those 5 structures. Keep going. Yeah, just some window changes and stuff. So I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. I think the additions have been pretty sensitively done in order to get a bedroom upstairs without blowing up the building and without taking the front facade off and doing what's necessary to make this a year-round structure. So it's be interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Okay. Thanks. You know, one thing that would be helpful to me anyway is to see the floor plans, because I see the little piece that you're retaining on the front.
And the first floor systems for the most part.
So that's a basement plan. Let's look at the first floor plan. So what's unclear from the first floor plan here? Okay, so I see existing. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of confused. So it's getting longer and you're building up this big 12 and 12 roof over a large portion of this, correct?
Yes, to get rooms upstairs, because there's really it's a very interesting inside, let me tell you.
So the little saved front piece is just a tiny piece, like there's
It's a sun porch or something.
Sun porch, yeah, sun porch. So that's like the little intact low piece, and then all the rest of it is the 12 and 12 with the dormers and everything.
On the second floor system, yeah, but a lot of the first floor walls are remaining. We're just going up over the top of them.
Right, but I mean, you know, the fact is you're taking that roof and you're pulling it off and pulling it up to what appears to be a 12 and 12.
Yeah.
Okay, 11 and 12, sorry. So clearly there's going to be HSAB on this.
Yes, Mr. Chair, there are HSAB comments. They looked at this on April 5th. Of course, we know this is a contributing bungalow. Thank you, Linda, for that history on it. NHL data indicated 1920, but it looks like 1940s. The concerns from HSAB: roof pitch is too steep in this neighborhood. Would appreciate a roof form and slope of a more bungalow style. Dormers are too massive. Rear wing ridge is too close in height to the main ridge. Recommendations: lower the main roof pitch and maybe raise the plate if needed. Increase the dormer setback and drop the dormer plate to reduce the mass. And lower the rear ridge height a couple of feet below the main mass. Raising the front plate a little will also help this mass feel more additive. Right now, it does not provide that feel. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, very good. Now I'm pretty certain that there's a few people, neighbors, in the queue that would like to speak on this application. So
Yes, Mr. Chair.
what I would ask is that whoever wants to speak on this application should make sure to unmute and then announce yourself for the record and where you live. Thanks. Go ahead. I know you're out there. Come on.
Yes, hi, I'll go first.
I'm here.
Victoria Raykov, 12 Lowell Place, and thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with the recommendations presented by the HSAB. I just wanted to say, I think they all make sense. I do feel that the roof pitch is a little too steep. It feels to me like it's a big second floor addition as opposed to being a flatter roof and potentially having smaller dormers. And if you look at number 10 Lowell, I actually think that's a lovely job of adding dormers, but their dormer windows are much smaller than these. They're not the full size windows, and it feels consistent with the street. I would love to see the ridge height on the new addition in the back come down and be more subordinate to the main mass. And generally, I do just feel like this house is still big for the street. There's no actual total square footage on the application that I could find. I might be missing it. The letter I got, the abutters letter I got, said that it was a proposed 2,409 square feet. There are no other homes right now on the street that exist. There's been one approved, but none that exist that are over 2,000 square feet. So this is still quite big for the street. And I'm not sure why it's pulling forward. I'm curious why it's being moved forward. It may just be to fit the deck in the back, but I'm not sure. And the other thing I just want to mention is that, not every house on the street has had dormers added. Our house does not have dormers. And the addition that was put on our house was put on there before we moved in. And then I bought the house in the 1990s. And, when we did redo our shingles and our windows and the like, we did send our windows to be refurbished instead of replacing them. We have really appreciated the fact that the HDC has held our feet to the fire to keep our house consistent with the street. I would appreciate the same for next door. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
It's Mark Norris.
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Thank you. I would just like to say, going through the back house and the length of time we had, we decided to keep the front house as close to what it originally is and make it still functional for our family that is planning on moving in here. We wanted to keep the original windows, the original front facade, even that tiny little window up top. What we're asking is to add on the side bedroom so that we can have a 1-bedroom first floor for the mother-in-law or for us or for later in life or whatever else. That's the side facing Woodbury. We're also going with 1 bedroom up top. It might be 2 or it might be an office up there, but to be able to get the head height, we figured we were trying to match the same height. Actually, we're under what the rest of the neighborhood is, two of the houses. And we're also just trying to get enough room in there so we can have a bedroom and an office up there and still preserve the quaint little area, so bungalow. So we're hoping to have this be fitting in the neighborhood, and we were trying to keep it in keeping. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Great, thanks, Mark. Anybody?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yep. Xander Farkas here, representing both 9 Barnabas and 20 Woodbury, which are both the butters. Our comments are pretty simple. The back of this is likely, we believe it is visible through our yard on Barnabas Lane from the street. But more broadly, our objection is once again to the height. This is like a 30% increase on a what was a very small house in the old historic district, and it's just becoming very large. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Xander. Anyone else before we get to the board?
Can I respond very quickly to
No.
Well, things were said that were not true, but we can't see this house in the back because
Okay.
you just approved the other house. So that sort of blocks us from 9 and
Linda, stop. We don't need to rebut, okay?
It just concerns me.
Neighbors made their comments. The owner has made his comments. So I don't want to get into a back and forth on this. I want to hear from the board about what they think about this application, if you don't mind. Okay, so over to the board. Who would like to start on this one?
I will.
Thank you, Val.
Um,
Oh, hold on, John. Well, I'll get to you next.
I think that HSAB was right on with this one. I don't think they're saying you can't expand the house. There's some modifications to make it fit in better. The pitch definitely has to change. There's no steep pitches like that, except for a house at the very end, which I believe is just the back of a house that's on Woodbury. So something a little less severe in pitch, as well as the dormers. The faces are really large, and I think those could be shrunk down and snugged in a little bit and more in scale with the other houses on the street. And I also agree with the differential between the rear mass and the main section of the house. It's only like 6 inches. I think it needs to drop, more substantially as well. So it looks like additive massing, but I think they were right on.
Okay. Thank you, Val. Diane, you ready?
Yeah, I agree with what Hashab said. Also, I think the on the east elevation, the proposed the second gable, or and there is much too severe. It doesn't fit in well. It has to come down. The chimney, just for picking the chimney, I think the corbelling at the top is not appropriate and should be smaller. If I could get the west elevation.
There you go, Diane.
I think that I don't know, it's again that very pointed gable. I would like to see it flattened out. I don't mind this first floor addition there, and I don't know whether you need all those French doors are not going down to the yard or not, but I would like to see the height of the building brought down and see what we come up with before I make much more comment, except that I agree with Hashab.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. John, how about you? John? Let's see. Abby, are you there?
Yeah, I agree with Ashab too, that the pitch being so steep sort of changes it to a completely different architecture than the historic part. And I think the 3 windows above draw your eye to that height. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And the dormers overwhelm coming off the sides of it. Just makes the little bungalow is completely lost. Thank
that
you.
it? Okay, thanks, Abby. John, are you still there? Uh-oh, did we lose John?
Do you see him? I don't see him.
May have fallen off. Now, I'm going to ask, because we seem to have lost John, I'm going to ask my two associate members, Stephen and Carrie. Are you both there and have you both been following?
I'm here and I have been following.
Okay, so how about we bring you into the mix?
I agree with everything that's been said. The bungalow is not there anymore. The front, that little piece of the front facade is, but the house doesn't read as a bungalow anymore, and it really needs to. In all aspects, dormers, gable, slope, everything.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yeah. John.
I thought I was sitting on this. I'm not sure.
Well, okay. So have you been present the whole time? Because I've been asking for you. John.
Yes, I'm right here.
No, but have you been hearing the whole conversation? John.
The newest.
John.
And it's like further along than the other two, so I think.
John.
Yes.
Something's not right here. Something's not right.
I'd just leave him off.
Yeah, we have to. So, John, unfortunately, we're not hearing you. Okay, so I agree with everything that's been said. HSAB in particular, I think, as Val put it so well, I think they were spot on this. So let's, can I have a motion to hold this for some revisions, see what happens?
Motion to.
66 to 70.
Okay.
Somebody needs to mute out.
I
okay,
know.
while we're taking the vote. Go ahead, Val.
Motion to hold for revisions.
All right, thanks. On that motion, Diane. Oh, boy. Abby.
Aye.
All right, Carrie.
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
There we go. Okay, great. Thank you. Val.
Aye.
And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. We'll see you next time. And now it's 20 after. We might be able to do this 14 Matacasham Valley Road if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, let's get it done.
Let's go. All right, so Matt, are you there?
I am, Mr. Chair. I can jump right into it.
Good. Now, before,
application.
Matt, hold on. Before we get started, we've been having, as I'm sure you saw, some issues with John. John, are you there and can you hear us?
I'm here.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, who's on the last one? Is it going to be John or Carrie? I don't think he heard half of it.
Carrie.
You didn't even speak, Linda.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to write it down.
Yes. All right. So John is with us. So let's hurry up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Matacasham Valley Road.
Okay, so I'll try to keep my comments brief. So this is an application for a new dwelling, single family dwelling. It's pretty straightforward. I would jump probably just to sheet A2.1, the north elevation. That's what's going to be visible from Matacasham Valley Road. We intentionally tried to keep the architecture, the design, fairly simple. It's all eave forward, all shed dormers. And basically our goal here was to really just, in a word, simplicity, specifically from the road side. On the back side of the building, there is, obviously more fenestration because it is on the water. And you will see, you've got some great views there, but I think that on this side of the island, visibility is limited to boats from a distant, a great distance, and, few and far between because you're on the south side of the island there. Again, I don't know if you're familiar with the location, but it is fairly remote. So,
okay, so I'd love to get my bearings here. Oh, I know where this is. This is this stretch of houses as you go out that road that sort of parallel the airport. Yeah. Okay. Now I know where we are.
Pretty far out there. It's a bit of a hike.
Is to the left or to the right of this property.
Correct. And it's not too far from actually the airport. So it takes a bit to get out there. It's a dirt road. It's not the gentlest of roads. And so it is fairly remote. Having said that, there is, we didn't want the architecture to be too busy. And so we really tried to go with a very calm, again, it's all eve phase, eve forward, if you will. And we tried to go with, have a kind of a lower presence, if you will, and tried to go as simple as possible in terms of the exterior detailing. So with that, I look forward to the comments from the board,
I
Mr.
got
Chair.
two
Thank you.
questions for you before you go away.
Sure.
One, what's the ridge height? And two, what are the paint colors?
It's the ridge height is 28 feet 4 inches. The 24 trim colors are white, but it is cottage corners. So.
Okay. How about those shutters?
I believe we've got those called out as gray.
Okay. All right.
Open.
Thank you, Matt. I'll send it over to the board now. Anybody care to begin on this one?
I'll do it.
Okay, thanks, John. Go ahead.
All right, could we hold on the north elevation? Could we go up 2 notches, please? Okay, now, on the left side, there's a single dormer, and on the right side, there's a 4-unit dormer. I can't see the A windows, I guess you call them. Do they have buttons in them like the rest of it?
The
Yes.
A windows, these are 2/2s, John.
Right.
Yeah.
But my question is, the all others are 2/1s, and it's 1 full light, and above it on the north elevation, I believe it is that one window that makes the difference being a single than a double hung.
I think the one you're talking about is the F window, right? The one that's just 2 lights as opposed to 4.
Yeah, that one and the 4 on the right.
Oh, okay, so we don't. I'm actually not seeing the right. Somebody needs to scroll over.
There they are.
Yeah, so that's more of like a transom. Yeah, okay, got it.
I think you should have buttons.
They do. There are 2 lights through you, Mr. Chair.
And what is the thing on the right? Is that a
pergola?
Okay, pergola. Okay, I'm trying to. I didn't see the end tails on it. Okay, thank you. I think it's approvable.
Okay, thanks, John. Abby, you ready?
Well, it appears very large to me, left to right. And I saw the other large house 2 doors to the left. So there is a precedence, but it just is looking a little hotelish. I don't know if it's the repetition of 2nd floor windows in a row or what it is, but I definitely think it would help to have that left side brought down, and that dormer is pretty heavy on the far left. So I'd like to see some changes in scaling the whole thing down somehow.
Okay, thank you, Abby. Diane.
I agree with what Abby said. I would like to see the 5-bay front north elevation it's quite demanding, and it's in a very sort of casual place, the end of the road where Maddoxham Road comes around the corner there. And the north elevation isn't the main view of, it's the south elevation that looks out on the beach.
Correct.
I would see, you can see the number, I don't know, I'm sure John will catch, I guess he didn't, the percentage of windows to the wall, but also in the west elevation, if it's visible, I'd like to see that chimney corbelled, not straight up in the clunk. I think a reduction of fenestration on all sides of the building may be good, with the exception of the east elevation, which is very simple. I don't know whether you need a width over on the 2nd floor of the north elevation, or bring it in 2 windows and make it a reduction from that size. It makes a very commanding statement on the north elevation presentation. I would like to see what you can consider to reduce that dormer above the front door. And not only talking about what the front door is, but I'd like to see a little more trim around the front door so that people know when they get there. If you took two windows out of that dormer and moved the door over to the middle, it would make an easier presentation of what people see when they go down there. It's a interesting street, and there are a lot of sort of original houses, but I think this house at the moment is a little heavy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Val Oliver.
Yeah, I appreciate the nod toward simplicity on this, but I think you could bring the wings down. The house that's closest to this in side to side is number 30, which is like 93 feet, and this is 92 feet from side to side, but that has 1-story wings on the side, which makes it not seem so overwhelming. I think an easy tact to take is to change from a 14 pitch to something less. That would drop a lot of height. And like the wing that has the living room with the fireplace, that's cathedral ceiling. So I think that would be a solution that would not hurt anything in terms of the interior program. So I think there's a way for Matt to do this, and it's not going to hurt his design at all. It's just going to bring everything down. And as much as he could, that would be great.
Okay, thanks, Val. So agree with sort of the massing and the width. The dormer, particularly the one on the main mast facing north, possibly the one facing south. It's like, I know the rule is 3 feet, but this is like all dormered out, like dormers all over the place. Changing the roof pitch so that it got lower and sort of a reduction in the overall mass of the dormers, I think would help tremendously on this. That's all I have to say. Should we motion for some revisions on this?
Hold for revisions.
All right, that's Diane's motion. On the motion, Val.
Aye.
Abby. You there, Abby? Abby, you're muted, I think.
Sorry, I'm fine with that revision.
Okay, with the motion, thank you. John?
Aye.
All right, and Diane, did I get you?
No, I made the motion, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, so yeah, right. So on your motion, and I'm in favor of the motion. So that motion carries. So for revisions, thank you. And that's going to conclude our business for Thursday afternoon. Kathy, is there anything that's time sensitive under other business that you would take care of now?
Did you want to approve the minutes for Terry?
Okay, is somebody interested in approving the minutes? I'm looking for the right sheet. I'm not finding it, but
wait a minute. I'll look and see. It's approving minutes of April 6th and April 15th.
Okay, that sounds good. Is that your motion, Diane?
Yep, that's my
Okay, so
motion.
Diane has made a motion to approve the minutes of April 5th, 6th, and 15th, I believe. So on that motion, Val?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Diane?
Aye.
And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. The motion that I'm looking to John for is our favorite motion of the meeting, which is...
One quick minute. Tomorrow's meeting, special meeting for 27 North Liberty for all those who are sitting on it. And the next meeting is Monday for the HDC, not
Thank you for
Tuesday.
reminding us of that. Yes, because back on that Monday thing. Okay, so people that have to meet tomorrow, sorry about that. And I'll see you all on Monday evening.
Abby's dog made a motion to adjourn. I heard him say it.
Well, that was through Abby, I believe. So Abby, let's see, Diane on Abby's motion.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Abby. Sorry, John.
Aye.
And Abby, you still there?
Yep, I'm still muting. I mean, I'm still saying yes, I'm ready.
Okay, okay, and I'm in favor. So thank you. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you. I'll see you guys on Monday.
Bye, Holly.
Thanks. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Okay, you're in, John boy.